Welcome in, guys, to where I recap the NFL Week 1 is already done. So let's recap what happened this week in the NFL. We start off the Thursday night game. It was the rematch from the 2023 championship game between the Ravens and the Chiefs. And it was another home game for the Chiefs. Again, the Chiefs started last year at home against the Lions. But this year again, they go back into the start of the 2024 season as your reigning defending Super Bowl champions. And this was a really entertaining game. Really got hot in the last quarter of the game, in that second half. And then Chiefs got the job done again. They beat Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens 20 to 27, a 7-point game. Lamar Jackson threw for 20 out of 41 throws, 273 yards, 1 touchdown. Mahomes had 20 out of 28 throws, 291 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But Pacino had 15 carries, 45 yards, and the Chiefs got the job done on Thursday night. Going on to the Friday, I know I said in my picks video that I said it was like Friday morning, it was actually Friday night. And Friday we had our first NFL game in Brazil, Packers versus the Eagles. A bit of a slow start to this one. Bit of a nasty injury between Jordan Love and I can't remember who else it was, but it was a really nasty injury. Hopefully Jordan Love's okay, but it wasn't. Nick Sirianni got the job done, beating Matt LaFleur 29 to 34, getting the job done. Jalen Hurts threw for 20 out of 34 yards, 2 touchdowns, 127. 2 touchdowns, 278 yards. Jordan Love threw for 17 out of 34, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and the Eagles beat the Green Bay Packers in Brazil. Going on to the early Sunday games, we had the Vikings versus the Giants. Now again, J.J. McCarthy was injured for this game, didn't play, so they had Danny Dimes versus Sam Darnold. Like this again, if you're watching this, I feel bad because again, you're like, yeah, especially with the Vikings, like they got rid of Kirk Cousins in the summer. They got a shit ton of money for Kirk Cousins and a couple of draft picks, and also they drafted a young quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, but he's not fucking playing. So again, you're starting Sam Darnold starts with and then on the other side for the Giants it's Danny Dimes. And for me, I don't know why the Giants front office is hitching their wagon on an old regime. And the worst decision they did, the worst decision that the Giants did, was giving Danny Dimes that fucking contract in 2022. Because again, if you look at this, the quarterback class last year and this year, you could have a gem in there that goes, yeah, we could have got that guy and he could have been at the Giants and we could have made him a star. Now you're sticking with Danny Dimes, who's a backup quarterback at best. Again, I like Brian Daboll. I like what he did in Buffalo, but he's not going to succeed in the Giants with Danny Dimes as your quarterback, especially with Saquon Barkley. With Saquon Barkley now gone to the Eagles, I just don't understand what you're gonna really accomplish if you're a Giants fan this year. What's your expectations? You're not going to win the division, but yeah, the Vikings beat the brakes off the Giants 28-6, and that was that. Then we have the Patriots versus the Bengals. Again, this is a new era in New England. Jared Mayo started his first competitive game as a head coach. Again, you can really see that Joe Burrow wasn't at it. You can tell that he's still, something was up with him on Sunday afternoon, but he wasn't at his best. He had only 164 yards. He threw for 21 out of 29 throws. But what I don't get as well is, unlike J.J. McCarthy, Drake May was healthy and fit and ready to go. Why the fuck did the Patriots draft a young quarterback in the second round, which they desperately needed? But you don't start him in week 1. You start Jacoby Brisker, who is a former backup for the Browns. Jacoby fucking Brisker started. when you were so fucking bad last year and had this fucking hard on for fucking Bailey Zapp. You've got a new head coach in Jared Mayo, and then you get a new head coach, you get a new GM and a new quarterback to see if he's the guy or not. Again, the Patriots ain't gonna really do much this year. They're probably gonna get a couple of wins here, a 5-6 team maybe, but they're not gonna win the division. It's all about Drake May, and having him not playing that first game was a big L. I'm sorry, that's a big L for the Patriots. And Jared Mayo, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking not starting him over Jacoby Brisker. Yeah, you got the job done, but the Bengals were really a shit show. They were really bad. Then we go to the Steelers and the Falcons. Again, you talk about franchise teams that did bad decisions in the offseason. Prime example, getting a mid-30s end of his career and past his best Russell Wilson. And then you go to the Falcons, who again did a fucking stupid decision. They go for an established quarterback to see if they can do something, I guess. And here they don't go for they don't go for somebody that can do something. They don't go for somebody maybe like a Justin Herbert or whatever. They go for Kirk Cousins. Again, no disrespect to Kirk Cousins. Again, he's a decent level quarterback, but he's not going to win you a championship. He's in his mid-30s. He's at the end of his. Kirk Cousins is at the end of his career. He wasn't really doing much in Minnesota. He went to a couple of playoff appearances and that was it. Didn't really get to a championship game. And you think he's going to be the guy. And again, if you're going to go with the whole Kirk Cousins thing, why the hell did you draft a 25-year-old Michael Phoenix at quarterback? I don't understand that either. That to me doesn't make any sense. But the Steelers got the job done, 18-10. Justin Fields started the game. And Kirk Cousins got a touchdown and he threw for 16 out of 28. And the Steelers got the job done. Then we had the Cardinals versus the Bills. Again, Josh Allen had 2 touchdowns in this game, 18 out of 23 throws, 232 yards. Kyler Murray again, the Cardinals are just a dumpster fire as well. Giving Kyler Murray that contract, the previous regime hitching their wagon to the Kyler Murray thing. 21 out of 31 throws, 162 yards for Kyler Murray in the touchdown. 28-34, the Bills beat the Cardinals 28-34. Then we had the Texans versus the Colts, and I should have gone for the Colts in my picks. I should have gone for the Texans in my pick. I stupidly went for the Colts in this one. Anthony Richardson versus C.J. Stroud, a division game. C.J. Stroud gets the job done, 29-27 to the Texans. C.J. Stroud threw for 24-32 yards, 245 yards, 2 touchdowns. Joe Mixon had 15 carries and a touchdown. Again, this Texans team is a contender, I think, this season. They found themselves the quarterback. They found themselves the head coach. They got themselves the head coach. They got themselves a quarterback. They've got themselves a good couple of weapons on that offense side of the ball, especially with Joe Mixon. I think that is a good addition. Again, for the Colts, I think really for them, they have to make sure that Anthony Richardson stays healthy for the whole season. Then we have the Jags versus the Dolphins. The Dolphins got the job done, 20-17. Good win for the Dolphins. Also, Tyreek Hill got arrested, so the cops arrested him, and then the video's online if you want to watch it or not. But how the cops handled him was just wasn't good. But Tyreek Hill actually did play the game and actually got a touchdown and won the game for the Dolphins, 17-20. So good start for the Dolphins. Then we had the Titans versus the Bears. It was Will Levis versus Caleb Williams, and again, Caleb Williams has to do. The goal for this season is Caleb Williams has to throw for over 4,000 yards passing. He has to hit 4,000 yards in passing, and it was a typical Bears football. It was fucking Bears football. Running with the ball. Shane Waldron, like, he's no better than Luke Getsy at this point. Like, he's just there, just going, run the ball, have that time. Again, it wasn't, again, there was parts of this Bears game where Caleb Williams is looking lost and confused. I'm like, throw the fucking ball to somebody at least. Some people are open and you're like, oh my god, what the fuck am I doing? 17-24. Again, the jury is still out on Caleb Williams. Then we have the Panthers and the Saints. The Saints just absolutely destroyed the Panthers, 47-10. Easy day at the office for the Saints. We had the Raiders versus the Chargers. These are the late Sunday games. 10-22. Jim Harbaugh, who was back in the NFL, got a good win on Sunday afternoon with a 10-22 win as Chargers head coach. Then we had the Cowboys versus the Browns. Two teams I despise, I don't like. 33-17 to the Cowboys as the Cowboys beat the Browns at the Brown Stadium. Then we have the Denver versus Seattle, the Russell Wilson rivalry. Both teams had Russell Wilson at one point. Bo Nixon didn't have the best showing, but he had 2 interceptions, 138 yards, 26 out of 42 throws, and Seattle Seahawks got the win. So Mike McDonald got the job done on his debut as a head coach. Then we go to the Commanders versus the Buccaneers, 20-37. Jaden Daniels had 17 out of 24 throws, 184 yards. He had 4 touchdowns. Oh yeah, Baker Mayfield had 4 touchdowns, 24 to 30 throws, 299 yards, and the Buccaneers got the job done. Then we had the late Sunday night game, which was the Rams and the Lions. I covered that Monday. Sunday night. The Lions got the job done in overtime with a Montgomery touchdown to make it 26-20, and got a big home win against the Rams. And then last night's game, the Monday night game, the Jets, Aaron Rodgers was on the road at Levi Stadium, and the 49ers again won their opening home game on primetime, 32-19. Again with this trade with Aaron Rodgers. Again, this has to work. Again, if the Jets don't get if they don't get to the playoffs this year, Robert Saleh should be fired. The GM should be fired, and they should think about cutting this whole Aaron Rodgers trade. Again, I was saying, like, again, I don't mind when teams go all in and they're going to want to win a championship like that. That has worked before in the past. Most recently with Matthew Stafford, with the Rams, and also Tom Brady. But again, this is Aaron Rodgers, who was, again, his best season was 2021, 3 years ago. Since then, he had a big injury last year. He only had played 1 game last year. He had a huge injury which impacted really the Jets. I know that they had a lot of weapons around Rodgers, like Lazard and other players, but I just don't think. I think this is going to be like another Russell Wilson where they're trying to go all in, but they've got the wrong fucking quarterback.